It is copyright-free music. It is provided by StreamYard, so Facebook and YouTube, you can lay off the hits because this is not copyright music. It's provided by StreamYard, supposedly copyright-free. So take it up with them. Don't talk to me. Anyway, Lynn Dorman, Southern Fried Paranormal. We're going to crank it up. Whenever you're watching this show, I hope you're having a good one, morning, noon, or night. I know this goes out a lot of into the StreamYard. Well, StreamYard puts it all out into the streaming universe and streams it to all kinds of podcast networks. So whatever time you picked to watch the show, we're glad you're here listening to us. Appreciate your time, and I hope we make it worthwhile for you. Tonight, we got a special guest, as usual. Stephanie Smith will be coming out here, and she will be talking about the Shanley Hotel and several other things that she's into, that she does, that I don't. So it's mostly going to be about her tonight. It's not going to be about me. I'm just here. I'm just pushing all night. And not because I'm lazy, but because when I know nothing about the subject being talked about, I want to sit back and listen and learn something instead of trying to be in my normal, let's teach a point here mode. I have a consummate professional tonight as a guest, is Stephanie Smith, excuse me. And see, I'm not a professional myself. Stephanie Smith, and she will be talking about subjects she wants to talk about, including the Shanley Hotel. So, all right, let's get this thing underway. Bones, go ahead and get our intro going.
Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Southern Fried Paranormal with Len Dorman featuring Bones. Catch us on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, Stream, and everywhere else you catch your podcasts. And of course, WLFE-DB.com. Now, from the backwoods of southeast Arkansas, right beside the Bayou Bartholomew, the longest bayou on the planet, broadcasting from downtown metropolitan Cane Creek Township, here is your host, Len Dorman.
I am here. I am loud. Hey, the mic's on, the volume's up, and we are here. Thank you. Appreciate you doing that, Bones. The internet's a little bit slow here tonight. The backwoods down here by Bayou Bartholomew. Then, we don't have the fastest internet because the nearest town is Star City, Arkansas. And that's about 2 miles to the nearest city limit. And that's to a town of about 2,300 people. I live out here on a road with about 5 households. So I'm definitely in the woods. And actually went to a gun store today. Would you believe that? Of course you would. I live in the country. I live in Arkansas. Everybody's got 2 or 3 guns. So we were talking squirrel hunting today, even though I don't do that. Of course, the same person also gave us some catfish that my wife had for dinner tonight. So that's about as backwoods as you can get. So that was my day today. Anyway, we're going to bring out somebody who knows what she's talking about, hopefully, more than I do. Stephanie Smith. And we're going to bring her out right about now because this show is all about her. Hello. How are you? Whoop.
There we go.
There we go.
Hi, how are you?
Apparently I'm a little bit flustered tonight because I'm a little bit slow poking on the buttons tonight.
That's all right. It's late.
Actually, for me, it's early.
Oh, well, yeah, for you, it's early. It's late here in New York.
For me, it's early.
Yeah.
Okay. Although I'm probably not going to make a big late night of it myself. I kind of got up for me early this morning.
Yeah.
But I run counter to most of my neighbors. They're up and going at daylight. sometimes I don't go to bed till daylight.
Yep. Well, did
Anyway,
you end up buying anything at the gun store?
did we what?
Did you end up buying anything at the gun store?
I did not. The guy I was with, he's having a problem with a over under 20 gauge,
Okay.
and he's saying that it kind of jams on him and it doesn't have enough pop to shoot squirrels in trees. So he went and got put on layaway a pump, 12 gauge.
Ah, all right. Well, I'm from Alaska,
which
so
is also,
we all have guns too.
and that's what I have is a 12 gauge pump.
Mm-hmm.
Same brand as the military use. I'm not going to advertise gun breaks here. I mean gun brands here, but
Yeah.
it's the same brand name. I believe the Marines and the Army are issued for shotguns. In fact, can be hooked up with a standard Army bayonet.
Oh, wow.
And shoulder strap.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm currently putting a seven shot saddle on it. If you know what a saddle is, right? On a shotgun.
I always just had a handgun back home in Alaska, so I never had any shotguns.
Okay, it's a bracket on the side of the shotgun that holds the shots.
Okay.
And the one I've got holds 7.
Okay. Yep.
So I can completely empty the gun, then completely reload it again in just a matter of a few seconds from right there with the saddle. Of course, now what in the world I'll be shooting at if I've got to fire off 12, 13 shots? I don't know.
Well, hopefully you're a better aim than that.
Hopefully. Oh, we do have a bear on the loose in the county.
Ah, okay.
Which is unusual for this far south. Bears usually stay up in the mountains of Arkansas, and I'm down here in southeast Arkansas at about 150 to 170 foot above sea level area. So we just don't see too many bears down here.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, we got plenty of them in Alaska.
I'm not sure what's going on this bear. I bet you do. Anyway, I believe we wanted to talk about something called the Shanley Hotel.
The Shanley Hotel.
Shanley.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've been mispronouncing it all this time. The Shanley.
Yep, it's the
Not
Shanley.
Stanley.
Nope. We've actually had people come through and say that we plagiarized the name when we're like, no, because this is, the original owner's actual name. So we didn't steal it from anywhere.
You watch She-Hulk?
I do not.
Okay. It's kind of a lawyer show in the Marvel universe. It's made as a comedy. She-Hulk was a comedy in the comic books. But they did touch on something. She is being sued now in last night's episode by someone who copyrighted her name.
Oh,
and now she's suing her, even though She-Hulk is her name.
Yeah.
The other people are suing her for copyright infringement because they went through the courts and got the name copyrighted, so they can sue her and get money.
Oh my! Well, knock on wood, that hasn't happened to us. They're just very similar sounding.
Well, if it's a family name.
Yep. It absolutely is.
Yep. All right. Let's start from the beginning about the Shanley.
Okay.
Got it right that time, didn't
I? You did.
Where is it? Where is it? What is it? And why are we talking about it?
So the Shanley Hotel is in a little town called Napanoch in New York, up near the Catskills.
Napanoch?
Yes.
Napanoch?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep, up near the Catskills. And that was a hotel that was actually built in 1845. And the Shanley family bought it in the early 1900s, and they were involved in the Irish Mafia. It is extremely haunted. Of course, there are nights when it's a little bit quieter than others, at least for us anyway. But we basically have people that come and rent the hotel, or, book a room or two. We take them on an investigation throughout the hotel, meet all the spirits, and, clean up the next day, that sort of thing, regular hotel duties. But we have a good time with it, showing everybody around.
Regular hotel duties.
Yep.
I don't think haunted tours are on every Holiday Inn's docket.
It's on our list, our to-do list. We have a lot of oddball things that are on our to-do list around there.
Yeah, I hope I do have the correct website down there.
The Haunted Shanley Hotel.
ShanleyHotel.com.
Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
.com. Okay,
Yep,
so if anybody wants more information, or if you forget what we talk about in the show,
mm-hmm.
go to their website and you can get basically anything anybody wants to know. Is that correct?
Exactly. Some of our upcoming events and things like that are up there. And of course, if you want to book a room, or like I said, you could even book the entire hotel if you want to, and have a group of friends come, and it would just be you guys, so you can always email the website and ask questions that you have, that sort of thing too. We have a gift shop.
And I believe I got you. You've got a gift shop?
We do have a gift shop. Shanley merchandise, cool. Plus investigation tools, REM pods, keychains, you name it.
Okay. You got to sell the merch.
Exactly. There's even a keychain with morgue dirt. I have a morgue. So we scooped up some dirt from that area.
And put it on a keychain.
We sure did.
Wow.
What else are we
I've also got your Facebook page. I've also got your Facebook page up here.
Yep.
So if people want to contact you and get some information or whatever, they can contact you, of course, on that Facebook page.
Yes. I do psychic mediumship. I do oracle and tarot card readings, pendulum readings, things like that. So if people want to get a reading with me, they can contact me on my Facebook page and we'll set up a booking.
Okay. I am not going to, I'm not rude. I'm not going to ask for a free reading just because you're on my show.
Okay.
What do? Do you use a normal tarot cards or use some kind of special deck? A lot of the card readers have their own decks or whatever.
20 different decks. And what I do is I usually go through and I pick 8 and I kind of do like a little Russian roulette with them. I just pick from each deck. And that's how I do my readings.
Okay. All right. Of course, if I was in Alaska, I'd say you shoot your cards.
You never know.
Russian roulette, you shoot your cards.
The odds are good, but the goods are odd.
Right. Now, about the Shanley Hotel, you gave us the town. You care to give us the address so people can pop it into their GPS and come see you?
Yep, it's 56 Main Street in Napanoch, New York.
You're going to have to spell that name because I don't have a clue.
Napanoch is Napanoch.
Napanoch. Okay.
Yep.
That doesn't flow off my southern tongue very easily.
It took me a while to get it too.
What kind of hauntings do you have up there? Is it demonic? Is it friendly ghost? Is it hostile ghost?
We
are there attacks there? Have you got any evidence on the website?
Absolutely. There's also a YouTube page for the Shanley Hotel, and there's a lot of great EVPs. Our hotel in particular is known for its EVPs that we get. They're phenomenal, especially if you have, the holy grail of EVP recorders, the DR60. Things that are caught on that are not caught on others. It's just, like I said, it's different. It's very different than any other location I've ever investigated in my entire life. So, yep, there's the YouTube channel that you can go to and look at the different evidence. We started doing a TikTok now as well. So if you find the Haunted Shanley Hotel on TikTok, there's a lot of different things on there. Plus the Facebook page. We have a very recent photograph that was actually taken by a guest who was a skeptic. And what she caught is a man, and everybody always thinks that the image is a reflection in the mirror, but that is not a mirror that he's standing in front of. It is actually a wooden plank that he's standing in front of. So if you go to the Facebook page and check that out, it's an amazing capture. We usually say with skeptics, if there's at least one thing that you cannot explain the next day, then we have done our job perfectly. And that is her one thing that she cannot explain.
Okay. So but mainly you specialize in EVPs there.
We do get a lot of really great EVPs. As far as the spirits go, there's literally all kinds. Most of them are pretty hospitable. They love interacting with guests, but we have happy, we have grumpy, we have sad and crying, we have children, we have a serial killer, we have a mafia hitman. We have like elementals and something that I call the creeper because we don't really know what he is. So we literally get all kinds. We have 4 portals in the hotel, so we never know what's going to be coming through there at any time as well.
4 portals. Okay.
Yes.
You have a very interesting location.
Yes. It is on a ley line. So if anybody knows much about ley lines, basically like a line in the ground that it's on some sort of an electrical current. The hotel is on one, and it's actually connected with a lot of other well-known paranormal hotspots. So if you look up ley line maps, on Google, it's phenomenal how many there are and where they go and how they're connected. So it kind of makes sense.
Do you have any Native American? Do you have any Native American spirits there? Because sometimes they tend to follow ley lines.
Yes, we do. The entire area is very well known for the Native American presence that was there. There was a Native American slaughter nearby on the grounds. And so there have been a few actual Native American spirits that people have seen, including one that's standing kind of kitty corner from our hotel. The building kitty corner to us looks completely dilapidated. It's, not livable. And people have seen a Native American man standing there in loincloths, just looking over at the hotel.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That would be some great catches if you could get that. Now,
yeah.
What do you charge for people going in there, getting a room, and maybe getting a ghost hunt to go with the room?
Well, if you do what's called a friends and family, which is where you book the entire hotel, you get up to 7 people. And like I said before, you get the entire hotel to yourselves, which was great during the pandemic, by the way. So depending on the day it is, because we run pretty much all week long, it's like $300-400 on the weekdays. And then of course it gets a little bit more expensive on the weekends because the weekends are obviously harder to come by. So, but if you just book a room, it's usually around $250 or $300.
How many rooms do you have?
We have 3 in the bordello. We have a room that's called the gentleman's quarters. That room actually sleeps 10. So it's pretty large. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more on the main floor as well. So the hotel sleeps up to 33 people total.
Okay. Do you lease out to normal people that are just spending the night, not interested in ghosts, or do people like that even come there?
That's happened once or twice, and it's like once they get there and realize that it's haunted and people really don't go there to sleep, they'll either leave or decide to participate. So People don't come there to sleep.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they're not going to get any sleep if they come there.
So who owns the place?
The owner
Okay.
is, her name is,
So somebody wanting to sleep needs just to go elsewhere.
yeah, exactly. The current owner, her name is Kelly Hammerling. She's owned it since 2018, but she's actually been a volunteer at the hotel starting in about 2011. So she's been there for quite a while.
Okay. This sounds like a very unique location.
It is. It's, you know, a lot of locations might have a handful of spirits, but we keep a log of how many we have, and we have over 50 right now that are there like full time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're not talking about a place with that many rooms.
Exactly. But the different rooms were used for different purposes back then the days too. So hence the different spirits that are in those rooms. Plus the spirits get to go wherever they want to. You know, they're not bound to any one location.
Right. Probably just in any room, you could probably contact any spirit.
Yeah, yeah. We have designated certain rooms because those are the rooms that we generally hear a particular spirit. So we always say, you know, well, this is Kevin's room, this is Joe's room, or this is Anna's room. Some of it we do have, you know, a bit of historical evidence of the rooms that they actually stayed in, like little Rosie. Rosie was 3, so we know exactly which room was hers. We have redesignated that room as hers and made, you know, so she has her bed, she has toys in there. People can sleep in there sometimes as well. But sometimes her father comes through that room as well.
Wow. I think, do you have many people spending the night in that room?
We do, actually. People like it. I did have one lady once, she said it was just her and her husband in that room. And she said in the middle of the night, her husband actually passed gas and she heard a little girl giggle.
Oh, okay. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But you are pretty well booked, or are you looking for bookings?
A little bit of both.
This, say this fall.
Yeah, the weekends are definitely all booked up for several months, especially with Halloween coming up and everything. But there's still some bookings available, like during the week.
Okay. Are you having either? What's Halloween fall on Monday this year?
I think it's a Monday. We are doing an event that we're hosting on the 29th of October instead. And then I think she's going to be doing something for Halloween itself. I'm not sure if it's going to be a big thing or not, though. Normally it would be, but just because, you know, it does happen to fall on a Monday this year, we're doing it a little bit differently.
Okay. Doing a lot of stuff on Sunday night. I imagine that's going to be a pretty good theme everywhere.
We do it every year. We have a nice size party, you know, and Halloween is actually Mr. James Shanley's birthday as well, one of the spirits there and one of the original owners. So we kind of do a combination Halloween party / birthday party for him.
Okay. This sounds like a place I'd love to get up to for Halloween.
Yeah, anytime.
Be up there this year on a Sunday night and then stay Monday night, Halloween night, because I also recognize the November 1st, Day of the Dead, as a kind of continuation of Halloween.
Yes, definitely. Yes. There is a bit of an uptick
I believe the spirits are a little bit more active.
Absolutely. Yep. That seems to be the norm.
Yes. Trying to think of anything else we need to cover. We got the location. We've got a little bit of the pricing. Of course, you've got probably various prices depending on how big the paranormal group is and which rooms they want to stay in.
Yeah, obviously, if they come in and they book, you know, say the gentleman's quarters, that room sleeps 10, like I said. So obviously, that room's going to be a bit more expensive because it's huge. So. But again,
Well,
if
yeah,
they book it,
where you're splitting it several different ways.
exactly, you get enough people, you split the cost, it brings the cost down for a single person.
Yeah, if you got a team of even 5 or 6 and don't take up every bed in that room, maybe worth it to get that big room where
Yep.
and just use it kind of as a control center, and that's where you're staying at.
Yes.
Now, if somebody did that, would they be allowed access to the other rooms at least to go through them?
It depends. If they book it as a friends and family and just happen to want to sleep in the gentleman's quarters, they can check out all the other rooms. But if the other rooms are booked, they won't be able to get into those rooms, to the guest rooms. We usually,
Of course not.
we usually keep our bordello area open so that people can investigate. There is a little sitting area in there, but we have little Rosie's room and Anna and Maddie, who are both 2 ladies of the evening. And so, like I said, we want people to be able to investigate there, usually until like 12:30 or 1. So if anybody books those rooms, we ask them just to, hey, leave it open so that people can investigate until that time.
Okay. I remember I was once at a haunted hotel in Illinois, and the most haunted room was booked for that night. We were doing a paranormal event there, but it was booked by not a people associated or with us.
Yeah.
But they on the ghost tour, they wanted to show us and a few other people that were actually booked in the hotel at least the inside of the room. So they just said, knocked on the door, and they already told them, they said, we're going to drop by with a tour to look in the room.
Yeah.
And they did not know the story of the room until the tour guide told the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they asked for another room after the tour.
That's golden.
Now the tour was not going to come back. It's not a 1 hour. This was a one and done. Just one tour. That's it. They were not going to be bothered the rest of the night, but they wanted another room because it turned out that a man had hanged himself in there.
Okay, we have one of those rooms.
Oh really? And they didn't want any part of seeing a man hanging from the ceiling fan in that room.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't ever had anybody.
So I can imagine you gone through similar.
There's only once. There was one of our rooms is called Marguerite's room. There was a lady named Marguerite. We believe she might have been a housemaid, and she was murdered at some point. We're not even sure what year, honestly, yet. But twice people have been pulled out of the bed, like by their feet. And so there are some people that walk in that room. They're like, nope, not staying in here. And they have to walk right back out.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I would want nothing to do with the little girl's room. She would not want to go near it.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's my wife, I guess to children, looks like the friendly nanny.
Mm-hmm.
We blinked there for a second.
Yeah, it froze.
Probably my internet connection is kind of it goes back and forth. But anyway,
okay.
They're attracted to her in living children, and she attracts child ghosts, and she would want nothing to do with that room. And I would wonder about the ladies of the evening, because last time I had something to do with mob related ladies of the evening, one of them decided to cling on to me for about 6 months.
Oh boy. That's a little awkward.
Yes, especially when she wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're sleeping beside your wife. It's very awkward.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Anna has been known to follow people home sometimes, but she always comes back. And she actually does prefer men with facial hair. So you got some
Okay.
facial hair. She'll definitely like you.
Oh, well, you can see.
Yeah.
I've, what do they call the old fashioned name for these? A Van Dyke.
Oh, I have no idea. We noticed.
I think originally they were called Van Dykes, where you just got the goatee.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we've noticed every single time that, we'll have men with facial hair and then men with baby faces, and she always goes for the men with the facial hair.
Oh, okay. Uh, I had a friend of mine that was baby faced, and I had a mustache when I was 17,
Mm-hmm.
and he never could grow a proper mustache, and uh, it's when we were coming up as kids and even into our 20s. It seems I always had a girlfriend, and he didn't.
Yeah. It's the facial hair.
Yeah. So we'll just leave that subject there.
Yeah.
uh, what else does it? Do you have a restaurant there or some nearby? If somebody stayed there for a day or two, where they can go eat, or
Yeah.
do you have a
There,
bar or?
there are a couple of restaurants nearby. The nearest town is called Ellenville, and it's pretty much right down the road. So there's a Mexican restaurant. There might be an Italian one, and there's like a diner or two as well that people usually can go and eat at. So we usually recommend those ones whenever people come and they need to get some dinner before investigation starts and things like that. Otherwise, there's Taco Bell and McDonald's. So if you don't want diner food.
Here we don't even have. We got a diner that closes after lunch.
Oh,
If
wow.
you're not there by 2 o'clock, tough luck.
Oh my. Okay.
They do not offer supper. They offer breakfast. They offer lunch to I think 2 or 3, and they close. They lock their doors. They're going
Oh,
home.
wow. I thought the ones in
Other than
our
that, we have a
closed.
McDonald's and a Sonic here.
Yeah. I thought ours closed early because some of them start closing, between 7 and 8. So that's a lot earlier.
Yes, yeah. You don't come to Star City and eat in the diner except for lunch. Now you can have a really nice Southern lunch. Basically, you're
Mhm.
having dinner. It's like
Yeah.
some of their plates they feed you like it's Sunday dinner at grandma's.
There you go. So you take the leftovers home and eat them later on.
Yeah, that's it. Especially if you got
Yeah,
a microwave in the room.
exactly. Yeah.
Y'all have that microwaves in the rooms?
We do not. We have a bed and dresser and usually little knickknacks. That's it. We have our great room downstairs, which is kind of where we all convene. We have a refrigerator if people want to use it. We do have a microwave there. We always offer some refreshments and snacks and things like that too throughout the night too. So yeah, we usually don't allow people to have alcohol or anything like that because there's areas that are steep and dark because there's certain spots without electricity, and honestly, alcohol with certain spirits just really don't mix very well.
Well, I've always been a believer, and I tell people that said if you're going to drink, you're not ghost hunting with me.
Exactly. Yep.
Now I have made exceptions with that when I'm ghost hunting down in New Orleans, but you got
Mhm.
people walking around with drinks at 10 o'clock in the morning down there. I've done it myself, but
Yeah.
if I'm going ghost hunting, I'm drinking Coke all day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people will go out
Actually,
to dinner.
usually I'm sleeping all day, getting up in the evening drinking Coke.
Yeah. Yeah. People will, go to dinner and have a drink or two. As long as they're not intoxicated, it's fine. But if they show signs of intoxication, it's just too dangerous. So, we usually say, you're done
Exactly.
investigating, you need to go sleep it off or whatever. So yeah. It's just too dangerous with the dark
There
area
you go.
airways. So yeah. we have everybody sign a waiver when they come in, and we warn them, if you get hurt or anything like that, we're not liable for it, but we don't want it to happen. So no alcohol prevents that, at least from happening usually.
Now, if people would listen to me in their investigations, I like to use light like you see behind me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So everything's kind of pink.
Yeah.
Those lights behind me were supposed to be ultraviolet, but they're actually infrared, and I have a UV shining over my head, which of course makes it pink.
Yeah.
Because apparently this cam that I got for the show picks up a lot of infrared light and picks up a little bit of UV light.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it does that. Just one of those things. But it turns out pink, like I'm using a full spectrum camera on an investigation, because I don't like to investigate in the sheer darkness.
Yeah.
Because I am a clumsy ox. I don't know about you in the dark.
I usually have my guests seated down before lights go off. We have a seance room. In that room, we do have a couple of red lights that we usually put on. But other than that, we don't really have any other lights going on while we're investigating. So I do like to have everybody seated, and that way they're not going to be tripping over things, things like that. So especially if I happen to take anybody in the basement to check it out, there's a little ledge and I don't want them falling down and, face planting it in the dirt or anything like that. So seated is a priority there.
Okay. I understand. Now, Of course, you do know that red or green light allows the pupils to be open.
I did not know that.
In fact, red light because it's a longer wave, you have to have partially dilated pupils to see red light. And this is why traffic lights are red and green. The bright amber is almost painful, but you got the red and green. Red makes your pupils open up. Green has no effect on your pupils, whether they're closed because of bright light or whether they're wide open because you're in the dark. Green light does not affect the pupils. It will not make them open or close. Red light will make them open.
Okay.
So if you're going to light something partially, use a red or a green light. And if somebody wants to walk around with a red or green flashlight, you're not going to bother their night vision.
Yeah.
Like a white light, you hit somebody in the face with a white light, they're blind as a bat.
Yeah.
Even in partial light for 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
So their pupils readjust to the dark.
Yep.
So if you have any light at all, or have somebody walking around with a flashlight, use red or green.
Yeah. Yeah. I sometimes do like a Facebook Live while I'm investigating, and everybody's like, we can't see anything, you need to get lights on and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but that kind of defeats the purpose of investigating. So I don't have all the, super fancy lights and things like that. Maybe one day, but not right now. I don't really have the need for them. So, ghost hunters do it in the dark, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yep. So I'm pretty authentic.
Or a red light district.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the bordello's for. Or at least back in the day it was.
Well, I've done quite a bit of ghost hunting in New Orleans. So yes, it was all red light district down there.
Yep.
And of course, I lived in Chicago for a while, and a lot of what they called out west, the soiled doves.
I haven't heard that.
In play, you've never heard of what a soiled dove?
Nope, I haven't heard.
Out west, Wild West expression. That's the lady of the evening across.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we always call them ladies of the evening, because if you call them anything else, they get really upset.
Yeah, if you call them a soiled dove, the one that might not know what it is, because it's kind of a out west. You got to get west of the Mississippi to hear that term.
Yeah. Yeah.
or at least in Chicago, and that's not used very often up there. Usually it's ladies of the evening,
Mm-hmm.
or just flat out prostitutes, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they prefer ladies of the evening. So okay,
Yeah. Yep. They sure
that's
do.
that's good to know, because you don't want to go in there insulting anybody, and you sure don't want to insult a lady of the evening, because she can get pretty mean, and if she can see you and you can't see her, advantage her.
Exactly. And our ladies are pretty feisty, so
And there you go. And you
yeah.
got to sleep sometime, even if
Yes.
you're up all night and you try to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You're trying to catch a few Z's. Uh, one of them can snatch the covers off of you.
Yes, absolutely can. That's actually one of our main rules that we start off with when we go over, ghost hunting 101, things like that, or even just the house rules is please come into the hotel with respect. These spirits have all types of different personalities, but regardless of what their personality is, they were here first. This was their home first. We are the guests, basically. And for, the owner Kelly and like myself and our other worker Tracy, they've become our second family and we love them. We always say it's a dysfunctional family between all of us, but they are family regardless. And so we just ask that everybody have the utmost respect for them. Usually ladies such as myself and other women that come will get called all kinds of names because that's how it was back in those days. But we don't call them names back. We
Yes.
don't make them the butt of the joke. We don't taunt anything like that. I've got a serial killer up there that, he's like, get the F out. And I'm like, push that REM pod first, but that's about as far as I will push him, you know? So we definitely want to have respect for the spirits there.
Okay. Uh, Anything else you got to say about that before we move on?
Well, let's see. There's one of them that I do try to get like mafia
Oh,
related questions out there for them. But I have one in particular that they don't answer for me, or at least this spirit doesn't answer my questions. And I call him my boyfriend. He's the mafia hitman. His name is Joe. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm the
wow.
girlfriend or what, but he will not answer any of my questions. So usually when I have guests up in his room, I'm like, you might wait until I'm gone for the night to actually ask him certain questions on what his job was or things like that, or how many people he killed, because he will not answer those questions with me in that room at all.
Wow. Wow. Ghosts are sometimes very particular.
Yes.
Just tell you a quick story about I was investigating a former slave quarters in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
and the main guide went upstairs, and she left. She knew I had been ghost hunting for many years. She left me kind of in charge of downstairs, so I had about 15 to 20 people gathered around. Just only 6 or 7 people went upstairs with her.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the spirit who stayed there. He actually died in a closet, just a few feet from where I was sitting.
Oh, wow.
And I was talking with him, and on a ghost box, and not EVPs. This was direct, communication back and forth.
Yeah.
And the tour guide walked in, and she said, "Oh my gosh, this is the first time I've heard your voice like this in years. How come you don't talk to me anymore?" And the reply was, "You talk too much."
That is great.
And said
I
that
love
to,
like that.
and said that to the tour guide in front of the whole tour.
Yeah.
She did not know what to say, and I didn't know what to say. And I still even remembering that event, would have no idea what the correct thing for me to say or do was.
Yep. I tell everybody that come in the same thing. They're going to, have a positive, upbeat attitude. They get tired of hearing my voice all the time. They want to hear from you because you're new in the hotel, So pretty much the same thing there. We get some great responses from them that are a little cheeky as well. I had a 15-year-old young lady in just last weekend, and she went into the gentleman's quarters with her aunt. Now, the gentleman's quarters, I usually like to say, if you remember that scene off of Titanic where the men get up to go to the smoking room and Rose says, they're going to congratulate each other on being masters of the universe. Well, that is what the gentleman's quarters is. As the name implies, women were not allowed in that room back in the day. It was where they smoked and drank and gambled, things like that. So we were not welcome in there at all. So this young girl goes in there for about 10 minutes with her aunt, and then she comes back out. And she goes, they are so mean in there. And she sat down next to me and I said, well, what happened? And she goes, they said, get out. And they called her the B word. I was like, yep, that's that room. We get all kinds of funny responses like that. I love them. The first time I ever got called a name, I clapped so loud. I was like, oh my God, thank you. It's like I've been accepted into the family now. It was really exciting. You get home after a night of investigating and, the husband's asking, well, how did it go? And, oh, I got called a bad word. And, they're like, that's not usually a good thing. But in our world, it's an awesome thing. Like we live for those little moments.
Yes.
They have personalities, they really do.
Yes, they do.
Yep.
You're correct. It's just amazing what you run into, and I run into skeptics all the time. In fact, the guy I was out with today, a neighbor, he does not believe in ghosts at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I told him, I said, if you had seen and heard the things I have, when I get voices and there's nobody around me.
Yep.
He said, I wouldn't even know how to explain that. And I said, there you go.
Exactly. We do get skeptics that come in all the time and we welcome them, but we always say, please keep an open mind. Now, there was one we had in several months ago that 100% skeptic, did not believe in any of this, but he came as a good sport. He had a GoPro on his hat and he went down one of the hallways and he was standing in one of the rooms called Esther's room, which was Beatrice Shanley's sister. So he's standing in front of her door and he said he felt a hand shove him from the upper part of his back into the door. So he went face first into the door, but his GoPro went flying down the hallway. Now, he wrote in one of our books downstairs that we have for guests to write down their experiences. So he actually wrote down that incident of that happening. And he said he was leaving the hotel being a 30% believer. And at some point he was going to come back to investigate some more. So 30% is pretty good. I'll take that.
And a return customer you will gladly take.
Exactly. But it's neat that they, have experiences like that, even as skeptics, that something just completely turns them around. And, we get people that even paranormal teams that, there's always one or two people on the team that are the technical people that need to debunk everything, which is great because we do the best we can to debunk everything ourselves. And there are just some things that you can't debunk, And when we get one of these people that cannot debunk their own evidence, it's like a little piece of gold right in their hands.
Yes. That's always cool when that happens.
Yeah, very much.
I was investigating a bar one night, which is what's exciting about a bar. We'd only been a bar for 10 years. For 90 years before it became a bar, it was a mortuary.
Oh. You
and
probably got
for Halloween, they had a fake casket up there with a plastic skeleton in it for Halloween. And a group I was investigating with one night, I had one of these cheap Looks like remember the old cell phone meter you could get with a little wand thing. And then
Yeah.
below that you had a meter you could buy for $5 or $10. Like this with a red light that was see through.
Yep.
They called it the ghost meter. There, it's cheaper meters you could get.
Yeah.
And you don't get that much with those.
Yep.
But she set it on top of the skeleton, and it didn't do anything for a while, even though she would say something to it, and she wasn't paying too much attention to it. There were plenty of other places to go. She just set it there and almost forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it started flashing. That big old red light, you can see that across the room. It started flashing, and she would say something, and it would flash a little faster, a little slower. And the skeptic in her group said, if you can tell the spirits to switch that light off and stop it from flashing, I'll be a believer instead of a skeptic.
Yeah.
He turned around and started going to the bar because the bartender was there serving Coke. It was 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning. Maybe later than that, maybe 4:00. Anyway, middle of the night. So he was going back to the seat of the bar to his Coke. Before he got to his chair, the lady running the investigation said, if you can hear me and you can understand me and you want to make your presence known, stop touching the meter. And it stopped cold.
Yeah.
Before he got to his seat. He turned around with his mouth wide open, a shocked look on his face. She waited a few more seconds. She said, now that you stopped, go ahead and touch the meter again and make it flash again.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately start flashing again.
That's amazing.
He didn't say anything else the rest of the night.
Yeah. On-command responses are
okay. Now they are. And I've done that before with lights at several locations. Ask them to turn on a light and turn off a light several times in a row. After about 3 times, it gets a little low. I said, just do with the light what you want to. Just play with it.
Yep.
And a lot of times they'll play with it, make it flash on and off real quick or something.
Yep.
But that's always fun when you get to somebody and I always thank them. I said, thank you for cutting off the light. Can you step away from the light and let it come back on?
Mm-hmm.
Blank, it comes back on, and I'll thank them again.
Yep.
Because that's pretty well proof positive. You do it 2 or 3 times in a row. Yep. That's amazing stuff.
Yep, it sure is. We use a little flashlight, Aglite flashlights, and have them shut those off and turn them on sometimes too.
Sometimes I don't like the flashlights because they can arc.
Yes. We do our best to kind of time them as well to make sure that it's not something that's, because they're affected by hot and cold too. And so we like to time them to make sure that it actually like on our command and not, something in the air or whatever.
We've got about, I don't know, we could just go ahead, since we seem to be at a stopping point,
mm-hmm.
And go ahead and end the first hour.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and exit.
Okay.
And then I will send you a link to the next hour, and we'll continue with part 2.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Let me go ahead and get out. Go ahead and take you out of here. I'll see you back in a few minutes. Stephanie Smith will return for part 2, and we'll be on in just a few minutes. So we'll say goodbye to you now, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right.
And there we go. So that's the first half of our show. I've got about 40 seconds here to get out of here. Let me do one advertising thing that I told somebody.
Hi everyone, I'm Dale Kazmarek from the Ghost Research Society. Just talking very quickly about our upcoming convention called the Midwest Spirit Fest on October 16th, 2022 at the Thornton Distillery in Thornton, Illinois from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. People are interested in getting tickets, they go to my website at ghostresearch.org or also find it on Eventbrite or Facebook page. I hope to see all of you there.
That was Dale Kazmarek talking about his con coming up in November. And there's several other places hit on real quick. Get in Paranormal, Mineral Springs Hotel in Alton, Illinois. It's coming up September 24th. And we have on October 1st, Paranormal Psychic Fair out in California. And we've got the Non-Com 7. Dale Kazmarek will be attending that event at the Pottstown Elementary School, another very haunted location. Of course, that's what this show is all about, telling you about haunted locations. There's 3 Paracons, 3 different parts of the country. If you're in the area, look them up. They'll be glad to have you there. All right, we're going to get back with our special guest, Stephanie Smith, and that is a great drawing of her. And we'll be back with her for the second half of the show. All right. Go ahead and crank the music back up, and we'll fade out of here because we got to stop in an hour, and we're 2 minutes from that. We'll see you on the other side in about 2 minutes. Just a few minutes.